Hello and welcome to another Purveyor Light Photoshop quick tip. Today we're going to have another Sunday creative edit, and these Sunday edits are becoming fun. Today's mission is what's on my screen right now. My granddaughter was reading one of her children's books, and I was inspired by this particular shot here of a castle in the sky, and I thought that would be a fun, creative thing for today. It'll use a lot of techniques that we can hone our Photoshop skill with, and that's the whole purpose of these Sunday edits, is to hone our processes, our techniques. So let's go ahead and jump right in. This is totally unrehearsed, so you're going to see me create this for the first time unrehearsed, and I think it's better that way. You get to see my mistakes, you get to see my struggles, and we all learn. Okay, so ahead of time I have picked up some images that I think will work very well. Picked up a moon, tropical island, a castle, and another tropical island. And I think with those, I'll be able to recreate this. Again, it's about having a concept and then trying to achieve it using various techniques. So let's jump right in. All right, so first thing is, this I have selected as my background image. This is so that we can put an island floating in the sky. So this will be our base image, and we'll put all the different elements together and see what we come up with. So first thing is, when you got our castle, and I said, okay, we need to get that castle. And so I'm going to go up to select, and I'm going to select subject and see how Adobe does. And Adobe does, again, wonderful job of selecting things. Absolutely perfect for our purposes. And I'm going to hit Command and Control J. That's going to throw just the island on a separate layer. And now we're using the Move tool, I'm going to move this into our background image. So I'm going to click and drag and drop it in. There we are. And so now we just need to do some resizing. Command and Control T, Command and Control 0 so you can see the handles. And we're just going to size this down into what we want. We want a floating island, right? So it's got to be in the sky. So we can always adjust it here, but I'll say, okay, there we are. We're floating in the sky. And again, using our sophisticated example, you can see that on the sky, the bottom portion of the Earth that the floating city is on, we need to recreate that. And so I figure this tropical island will be ideal for that. So I'm going to select the subject again on this image. Let Adobe do his thing. I tell you, with Adobe doing this AI stuff, it's just absolutely wonderful. I'm going to do some fine adjustments here. I'm going to do a plus to make sure I'm adding to the selection. And I'm just going to come in and just do a little touch up where Adobe didn't. Okay. Command and Control J. And we have it on a separate layer. Now we're going to use the Move tool again. And we are going to move this island into the background image. And drag and drop. And there we go. It looks perfect. Command and Control T. That's for tree transform. And we're going to shrink this bad boy up. Gonna flip it around because it's got to be the bottom of the castle, right? And so we're trying to do that. So again, we're trying to recreate this type of style, and so we need to get that. Now we need to distort this. Okay, so it's gonna be a little wiggling, but we'll come in. We'll rotate the image. And now we're gonna actually distort it. Now, in order to do that on the latest version of Photoshop, because if we try to move the handles, it moves in keeping the aspect ratio fixed, right? I need to distort this island so that it goes to my dimensions. So I'm going to hold the shift key down, and that allows me to just work with the edges all by just clicking and dragging, so I can distort the image so that it fits. And I can do this any which way I wish. And that's looking pretty good for there. So we've got our distortion. Now, we've got some gaps in that and some cleanup we've got to do. So on this island, I need to put some brush up and touch up the areas here. We do that with the clone brush. So selecting the clone brush, I'm going to hold the Alt or Option key to select from an area I want to select. And then I'm just going to paint to touch up the areas. Okay, and just keep resampling. Okay, resample how you want. You can even come from the green and sample this in. Okay, the more you sample from multiple areas, the more believable the effect. Okay, and just touch things up until it thinks. And you don't have to be super careful about this, because the scale and that what we're going to be viewing this is going to be greatly different. But you see, we're making a creative, like the brush is actually growing around the floating city. And just keep your time here and be as creative as you wish. And you can see there I'm recreating the growing, and just keep going across until you have what you're looking for. And again, no wrong or right. This is your creative piece of work. Okay, I think that's looking pretty good. I think that's pretty believable. So we've got our floating city, and we've got the bottom half and everything, and I think this is looking pretty good. So what's next? Okay, well, the next is about making things more copaesthetic, color blending, tone blending, things that would make it look more realistic. Because right now, out of it, the colors on the bushes and that in the castle don't, go with the background as well. And so we just need to do some little adjustments. So on the castle, okay, I select that layer, and then I'm going to do a curves layer, and I'm going to restrict it to a clipping so that it just works on the clipping mask below. So any adjustments I do on this curve, excuse me, will only affect the castle. So if I pull down, you can see I'm only affecting the castle. Okay, so now what do I have to do here to put this castle in the thing? I may give it a little S curve maybe. See how it looks. I'm a little bit dark in the shadows, so I'm going to bring up my shadows a little bit. And that doesn't look too bad. That looks pretty good, actually. I just need to bring this up a little bit and bring this down a little bit. A little more contrast into it, but not too much. Okay, so that takes care of that. Now we need to do the bottom side of the island because it's got way too much direct sunlight going on the moss and everything because it was originally upside down. So again, take a curve and clip it to the layer. And now let's, I need to darken it. So I can come in and do a little bit of darkening in the shadows. I could even do that on the lights, dim them down a little bit, make it more believable. And again, taste is what we're going for, so I think that's a little bit better. Okay. So, all right, so now we've got the city in the sky, we've got the colors corrected a little bit, and now what's next? Okay, so next is, again, I'm shooting for, I can't recreate a cartoon from real pictures, so I'm going to turn this into a, we'll say a futuristic, maybe this is another planet or another solar system and that, so we'll tone it up so that it looks that way, fits into the narrative that way. But that's looking pretty good. So now I need to turn around and go, okay, what else do I have to do? I need to put some clouds in here, right? We have some clouds around the city, floating city, so that's what I'm going to do next. And I happen to have some clouds, okay, on a layer. And I'm going to take the clouds and I'm going to use the move tool and I'm just going to drag it over into the background. And there's the clouds, and I can position these any which way I feel it adds to the photo. Okay. And I can reposition and change their size and that. We could change the blend mode to overlay or hard light. Just go through the ones that work well for your effect. Okay. I'm just going through real fast to see what looks good, because again, what I'm doing is unrehearsed. I'm liking screen. I'm going to put a layer mask on this layer, and then I'm just going to carefully painting in black, just a touch of the and just basically erase what areas I do not wish. You can change the flow down so that you can be more subtle. Maybe go down to like 20%. Really large soft brush, and just come in and do some changes how you feel about it. And move tool. And back onto this and do a little more touching here. Okay. I think that's pretty good. We got a little bit of cloud layer. So next step. All right, so next going on is we need to bring this together. If we're on an alien planet, another solar system, we need to have its own moon, right? That's in every movie, right? So I've selected this image here because this looks alien enough to me. And I'm going to take it and drag it into the background. And I'm going to drop it in. And good. And I can just position it where I want it in the frame. Not certain whether I like it up here or up there. Well, we'll start for there for now. We can always change it if we wish. So now we've got the foreign moon. So that looks pretty good. All right, so we're coming together really nicely. We're now going to tone this thing together. And the easiest way I know to tone this together is using a color lookup table. And so I'm going to the top layer, and I'm going to hit color lookup. Okay, and then I'm going to select a edgy amber. That's going to put us like on a hot planet, in some solar system. Give us that foreign look, though. And there we see how things come along, and we have our thing. And you can play with the opacity on how strong or how light you want to make it. But I think that's a pretty good recreation to what we were going for. We turned around and had the concept from a cartoon, and we now have created a photorealistic representation of that. And I think it's a lot of fun to do this. Again, I'm just doing this is nothing important. This is not going to save the world. It's not going to cure cancer. But it allows you to practice your Photoshop skills. It allows you things, your creativity. And like I told you from the very beginning, this was completely unrehearsed, never done before. And so you watched me put it together for the very first time, just doing it live. And so therefore you can see my mistakes. You can see how my thought process works. And at the end, we can have a lot of fun. So I'm going to call this one done. Guys, have a great weekend, and I'll talk to you Wednesday.